Wealthy people don't become wealthy because they have a lot of money. They are able to create wealth because they understand the power of leverage and how to use it to their advantage. So, what I want to share with you is how to use leverage to become rich or wealthy. Now, to do that, you need to first understand what the word leverage means from a financial standpoint. So, when you look at the definition, it simply means leverage means using various financial instruments or borrow capital to increase the potential return of an investment. Now, when we look at the word various financial instruments, okay, that word simply means that you can use things like credit cards, you can use line of credit, you can use personal loan, whatever the financial instrument is, you can use it to create more wealth. All right. Or you can use borrow capital, meaning that you're reaching out to friends and family. Now, what I want to share with you is how the poor use leverage versus how the wealthy use leverage, because everybody using leverage. The only difference is some people are not using it to their advantage. Now, let's look at how poor people use leverage. Okay. Let's say that a poor person, when I say poor person, I'm talking about people who are low income earners and more importantly, people who have a poor mentality, if that makes sense. So let's assume that a poor person has access to $1,000, for example, using a credit card. Now, ideally, most people are excited because technically it appears to be free money and you can pay in installments. Now, a person who is not financially prudent will take that $1,000 and use it to invest in liabilities. So you notice that you go from 1,000 all the way to $10,000 in liabilities, meaning you're paying interest upon interest over time because you're using your money to invest in things that does not make you any money. All right. So, for example, you're using it to pay bills. You're using it to keep up a lifestyle that you can't afford, but you're doing so because you have access to leverage. This is the wrong way to use leverage. It's going to continue to keep you in poverty. Now, let's look at how wealthy people actually use leverage. Okay. So you can see here that a wealthy person will have access to borrow capital. All right. So this could be friends and family. It could be credit card, line of credit. It really doesn't matter. And they will take that $1,000 and then use it to invest in something that's going to help them to actually grow that money. All right. So this could be, for example, a real estate investment. It could be investing in stocks. It could be investing in crypto, anything that will allow them to be able to grow this money more than what they actually have access to. So ultimately, what happens is that once their investment has yielded something tangible, they simply take the $1,000 and pay it back to wherever they got it from. So now they're in profit for about $9,000. This is how you use leverage. And the reason why this is so important is because if you're a person who's constantly thinking about ways to make more money, and you may not necessarily have liquidity, meaning you don't have a lot of cash in your bank account, but you have access to credit cards, you have access to a line of credit, you have good credit. Those are tangible resources that you can use to actually create wealth for yourself. And that's why I said earlier that wealthy people may not necessarily have access to, millions of dollars in their bank account, but wealth is a state of mind because they have access to credit cards, line of credit. They're able to access those funds and now put it into income producing asset. So if your goal is to transition from this side of the spectrum to this side of the spectrum, then you want to start changing how you use the financial instruments that you have access to right now.